Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Time for music and entertainment news. And it starts off very gruesome with a lawsuit now accusing Jay-Z of raping a 13-year-old girl with Sean Diddy Combs in 2000. And of course, I hate talking about this stuff. It's so gross. But the Diddy thing we talked about when that happened. So in being strong journalists, we got to continue the story because it feels like the Diddy thing happened. And then, I don't know, it's been like 4 months where he's just sitting in jail while a case is being built. And kind of forgot he was in jail.
You did?
Yeah, like he tried to pay like $50 million to get out.
No, and he said he wouldn't see women. He's like, no women at the house, I promise.
I promise. That didn't work.
I'm like, bro, great. There will be no women at that house because you're going to be in Colombia. So, for sure.
Yeah, your house will be sitting there empty.
Yeah. Promise kept.
Now, this was a civil lawsuit against Jay-Z. Of course, he put a statement out vehemently denying the claims and using the phrase, "These allegations are so heinous in nature, I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one." He's saying, come at me. Do whatever you can do with detective-wise and a full criminal complaint because this is not true, is what he's saying. In a long statement he put up on his social media. Again, how this is all going to play out will be must-see TV when it gets on court and all that stuff. It's wild, and I'm obviously for clear evidence, but I mean, I don't know how you go back 25 years and get clear evidence on stuff.
It's hard because a lot of this ends up being he said, she said. However, they're claiming there's a lot of video. So that
Disgusting.
Eliminates that.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see how it plays out.
Yes.
And the same with the Diddy thing. I don't know if we're going to trial in the next year or so. I don't know how long it's going to take. But
do you think that they just have to sit there and watch all the video?
Jury people,
why?
you mean?
Or just people building the case?
Obviously, they don't want to go to court until they really go through every possible thing.
That has to be so uncomfortable.
It's disgusting. Ugh. More bad news.
Okay, good.
Not quite on that level, but certainly as Duck Dynasty star Phil Robertson has been diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. It's really rough. If you've seen people go through the decline of that, someone that you love, it's horrific as well. Duck Dynasty, super popular show, obviously, for 5 years. They made products for duck hunters, primarily a duck call named the Duck Commander, which I wish I owned one. I don't know why. I don't go hunting.
What is that? What's a Duck Commander?
It's an excellent, elite duck call device. Do a duck call. It's exactly what it sounds like.
Oh.
That's it. You got it. So very sad in that situation. Finally, something more positive. The ruby slippers worn in The Wizard of Oz are auctioned off at a record $28 million. It's the largest amount of money ever paid for any kind of memorabilia item.
How much was it?
$28 million.
Whew.
$28 million. Aren't you sitting on something? Aren't you sitting on some kind of memorabilia that you could...
we have a lot of memorabilia.
What's the Christmas thing you got?
Oh, yeah.
This village you have or something?
My mom wanted to get rid of her... It's a Wonderful Life Christmas village. I feel like when your kids move out, you just end up doing like less Christmas decor, so she's over it. That I'm not setting up a village. And I was like, God, these things are really old as I was setting it up. I looked up one of the figurines, and because it's a scene from the movie, one of the figurines, like when she jumps in the rose bush because her robe comes off.
Oh, because she's,
There's one of those figurines. Just that tiny figurine was $75. And I looked up, I was like, wait a minute, there's a lot of pieces of this thing. So I'm like, hold on. And I was looking up some of the other pieces of the Christmas Village. And like on eBay, a 4-piece set from It's a Wonderful Life is going for $650 currently.
Wow.
But I have a lot more pieces that I feel like it's like a few $1,000s that I have just sitting out on our TV stand that my baby keeps trying to grab. I'm like, stop it.
Wait, so they made an It's a Wonderful Life figurine set, and one of them is when she gets naked, her robe falls off and goes into the bush.
So it's just her head and neck and then a rose bush. And George Bailey's standing next to her. That's one of the figurines.
But all the scenes in that movie, they choose the one where...
Well, there's a lot more, because I have like all the buildings. Like I have the bank and I have the their actual house. Like everything that I have is actual buildings from the movie.
I'm stunned that that's one of the figurines that they chose to. Because
it's a huge scene.
Well, it's a huge scene, but also it's a little risque to put in a
Not
figurine.
really. She's just in a bush. You can't. It's not like she's naked. Like she's just. You see a head in a bush.
Oh, when I was a little kid and saw that movie, I looked at that bush pretty carefully. if I had the figurine at home, that bush would have made it to the bathroom. That
That's
figurine.
disgusting.
I'm just saying.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. And we just mentioned the sad news and music entertainment news that Phil Robertson of Duck Dynasty has got Alzheimer's. And it made me think during that song a little bit when all of those shows, and I have to put at like patient zero of those type of shows was Deadliest Catch. Because once that show came out, then they're all of a sudden launched an entire amount of shows that were about doing stuff that you wouldn't normally be in your wheelhouse. But then when
extreme blue collar jobs.
well, that and just weird, like Duck Dynasty, like making the duck call thing. And I was just fascinated by that show when it started.
Like unique, very unique jobs as
Yeah.
well.
And I just think it started with Deadliest Catch. I could be wrong. Maybe there was before that. I don't think so. I think Deadliest Catch was the first one. And I lived for Deadliest Catch. Case has been binging old Deadliest Catch lately.
It's a really good show.
I don't get it because like aren't they kind of always doing the same thing?
Every episode's the same.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But I mean, there's different, like, just like any kind of show, there's a different storyline to what's happening today. Like, oh boy, is Timmy going to get washed overboard today instead of last episode?
Sometimes it's king crab, sometimes it's a paleo crab. You know, they change seasons for the crab at some
Well,
point.
now I'm in.
Exactly.
Yeah. When my father-in-law came and stayed with us for a week, I started watching that Gold Rush White Water.
Love it.
And I had no idea that that was an offshoot of the original Gold Rush show that started in 2010. So now I'm going back and watching those because I already got through the Gold Rush Whitewater. And I didn't even want to watch it. I made fun of him. Like, what, you want me to set the DVR to hit this up, to tape that, add it to the library?
Yes.
And he said, yeah, I can't miss an episode.
I can't miss one.
Your granddaughter's here. Hold on.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, me and him were ordering pizzas while Harper's just like running up and down the hallway watching Gold Rush Whitewater.
Did you ever get into Ice Road Truckers?
Oh, hell yes.
That's an awesome show.
Kenzie, you've seen Ice Road Truckers,
I've
right?
never seen any of these.
What do you mean? What do you watch?
I don't get to watch a lot of stuff.
No, you can.
What's a show that might be in this category of just weird-ass topic type things that you
Well, like,
watched?
I've talked about Is It Cake before because my son watches it a lot.
Different vibe.
And it's like, but it's still like a weird where you're like, this is stupid. And then you're like, well, that one's obviously cake. You find yourself participating, like, boo, you can't tell that's cake. Like, it's annoying.
And that's what we're talking about here, because I would never watch Gold Rush Whitewater, but then I'm like, what were these guys doing? They're not going to find it there.
Bunch of idiots. What is this, your first cake?
Yeah, you can't drop your pots there. There's no crab there.
My mom's addicted to. So my mom started this new thing where she talks to me super in depth about TV shows as if one, these are our family members, or two, I watch the show. So I'm like, wow, I just spent a lot of time on that and I don't care and I don't know anybody. And she is addicted to Below Deck on Bravo.
Oh, I watched the first season of that, but I kind of just got away from it. I don't know why.
She'll call me, and I'm going to get a name wrong because I don't know. She'll be like, you will not believe it. I'm just so disappointed in Cynthia. I'm like, Mom, I don't. Okay, like, I would like to talk about our family. Or like, she is so wrapped up into it. She wishes she could go back in time. This is the job she wants that she feels like she's made for.
See, that's kind of what like Deadliest Catch did for me. I said, why didn't I become a deep sea fisherman?
No way you think you could handle that.
I never fished in my life. Once I went fishing.
Why
Once.
do you think you could handle that?
I don't, but I want to be them. That's what I wanted to be them. Oh, somebody.
You're really big, too. You don't have a low center of gravity. You shouldn't be on boats.
Oh, I would have been off that boat the first
The
episode.
second.
There's no way. Also, somebody made a good point. I always use this Deadliest Catch as the kind of ground zero for these type of shows. Dirty Jobs was.
Oh, yeah, with Mike Rowe.
Oh, God, that was a great show. Mike Rowe. I know.
Remember, slightly adjacent. Remember the show 1,000 Ways to Die?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I always feel like that was just like such a man show.
Yeah.
These are like dude shows.
That was on Spike TV.
Yeah.
And Spike, I don't know what Spike is now.
It's the Paramount Network.
Oh, God. What
So that's where they show Yellowstone now.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
before
yeah.
that, obviously there was no TV for men. So thank God Spike TV came in. And
Hell
gave
yeah.
us Pros versus Joes, The Ultimate Fighter, and 1,000 Ways to Die.
There you go.
Ryan checked in. He checked in from Bloomingdale. and said Swamp People and Swamp Loggers are the show he's into.
Swamp Loggers is a good show.
I've never even heard of that one.
Oh, you gotta get on.
All of these.
What else is there on TV?
Oh my God.
You just put on the Discovery Channel and A&E for an afternoon. You're going to catch American Pickers. You're going to catch Storage Wars. You're going to catch Swamp Loggers, Deadliest Catch, Gold Rush, Ice Road Truckers.
God, that's a great afternoon.
I love cable. Oh, what do we do before that?
Thank you for taking it from Bloomingdale, by the way. But yeah, you sit here and these people probably worked on shows with a plot, like to make a show.
You used to write television shows.
And instead they just follow these dudes in the woods, and then they get a show that's way better than the guy writing some kind of storyline for a show.
I used to love, somebody texted in about it, but Man vs. Food. I did watch that one.
Okay, we're getting a little bit off, but that's still...
Yeah, that's an eating competition. What are you talking about? That's what he does.
Well,
I
trust
thought
me.
he failed too often, to be quite frank, though. To have your own TV show, it should be like a rarity to fail. I'm like, are you ever going to... I could do this.
Some of those challenges are out of control. They did some in Chicago, by the way.
But you got a TV show to do it. You should be able to accomplish it.
Well,
it kind of made me, every time he failed, I'm like, how dare you?
He needed you to have a little pep talk for him.
I know.
Brian, did you ever see Wicked Tuna?
Yes, Wicked Tuna.
What is that about?
It's a show about fishing for tuna.
I went a totally different direction with that.
Oh, someone texted in Ancient Aliens.
Oh, that was a good one.
Again, it's going to be a little bit off, but it's in the same world of these shows.
Let's talk about weird shows now.
Yeah, I mean, they all are weird shows, but...
This is crazy.
I love what's coming in here on this, what people... I feel like we're all the same. We should all just be on Twitter to be able to talk about these shows while watching them in real time.
That's a beautiful message, Brian. I feel like we're all the same.
That's right. We're all the same.
We should all get on Twitter and watch weird reality TV shows all at the same time.
I'm gonna go further here.
Okay.
Why is there racism and political arguments when we have all these shows we can all agree on that are awesome?
Gold Rush.
I'm begging anyone listening right now, please don't answer that question because I'm going to get 14,000 texts.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. The next time we talk to you, it will be night one of Q101's Twisted Christmas. Tomorrow, Cage the Elephant at the Aragon, sold out, and we will see you there, obviously, every night this week, starting tomorrow night, and cannot wait. And the memories are flowing back of Q101 Twisted Christmas is past right now. Just whenever you know some big events coming up, sometimes you think of the one that happened last year, 2 years, 3 years, all the way through, and they're just kind of coming back. I get chills. I get excited for it. Hope you are too. Case, takeaways, what do you got?
Jason checked in from Warrenville. His takeaway today: who needs Christmas music when we got Q101 24/7? I'm not risking my life for that music.
Facts. Kenzie, what do you got?
Mitchell texted in takeaway. Brian will suck on that.
I will. And finally, Matt, the traffic man, checked in with a similar to what you were talking about, Kay, saying Mariah Carey makes millions of dollars every Christmas because she made the second most murderous Christmas song of all time. What do we got on the podcast, Case?
Rest in peace, Johnny Carson. You would have loved the McDonald's snack wrap. We, of course, talked about McDonald's bringing back the snack wrap and the historical figures, whether it be Abraham Lincoln, Kurt Cobain, or Johnny Carson, that did not get to try the snack wrap. We also learned what Kenzie's inner monologue sounds like. That will terrify you if you haven't heard it. All of that and more on the Brian and Kenzie podcast today.
Get it wherever you get your podcasts, whether it's Spotify or Apple, or the newly redesigned Q101 app. It's free. Download it and use it.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.